ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
Yeah, well, Smith Marset is a guy that he's been doing a nice job all year, so may have an opportunity here this week. We'll just see as the week goes on, but that's why we have so many guys on the practice squad, so they get ready to come up and if they have to play.
Yeah, Vikings getting hammered by COVID protocol this week. I believe I saw they have the second most players throughout the season that have hit the COVID list. Like them, and I can't remember who the other team was, but yeah. So Alex Madison's on the list.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few practice squad guys.
D.D. Westbrook went on it yesterday.
D.D. Westbrook, and that's why he's talking about Smith Marset. Yeah, Daniil Hunter, who's out for the season anyways, but he's on the list. So we'll see what happens. So today is a Purple Positivity Wednesday, which we will get to later in the show, but it's also a Write That Down Wednesday presented by our friends at TCL. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. A new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution at an affordable cost. And we have all kinds of drama to get to, so let's fire it up, Declan.
Most make predictions and then never admit they're wrong. Yeah, that's not Mackie and Judd. This is the place where we just totally own our horrible predictions.
Write this down.
And eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Write that down.
It's Write That Down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
With Mackie and Judd.
Yeah, so, all of the other sports talking heads out there, way too cowardly to actually put their predictions out into the public, scrutinize them, pick them apart, hold each other accountable. In this case, with completion percentages and touchdowns. We do batting averages and home runs on the classic version of Write That Down on Mackie and Judd, our other show. But this is the first year we've ever done football-centric and Vikings Write That Down, and the calendar year represents the season. So we have less than 3 weeks left until a first-time champion is crowned in two races, completion percentage, so accuracy, and touchdowns. And this is how it works. 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. Like I said, we keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. And if you guys want to be guest listener participators, you can send us a message through the Score North app, where we're also giving away a Justin Jefferson jersey this week. You can enter once each day this week. Code word today to enter is Cousins, the guy who throws the balls to Jefferson. You want to win a Justin Jefferson jersey? Open the Score North app and enter through listener rewards. So Declan and Judd, you guys have been going back and forth for the completion percentage title here. You guys have been pretty close, just like you have been on Mackie and Judd. But there is a touchdown battle brewing beneath you. You guys have been much more like short, safe passes. Myself and the listeners have been throwing haymakers all year looking for that touchdown title. So we got all kinds of close drama here down the stretch.
Okay.
By the way, Rick is going to be the guest listener predictor. We'll get to him in just a moment. So, all right. So, Judd, you want to just start with you? You ready for this?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay. All right. A couple things came off the board for Judd. The first one.
I felt the tease was much more than this, but
me too.
That's okay.
The first one's called karma. This is what happens, kids, when you try to preserve at least 2 games with a dislocated shoulder. Which at the time was the most obvious prediction. Yeah, of course he's going to miss 2 games. His shoulder was hanging out of the socket.
This is bullying. Where's HR?
He is so tough. He came back after 11 days and played against all odds and ran for 200 yards.
This is an awful bit of bullying that I cannot stand for.
Yeah, bullying. Just like Dalvin Cook and the Vikings offensive line bullied the Steelers in the first half of that game.
Hey, he should have sat out 2 games, okay?
You did say the Lions would win 6 or fewer games under Dan Campbell this year, and now mathematically, they cannot win more than 6 games.
Okay, 1 for 2.
So 1 for 2. I got to tell you, I was on the precipice. I mean, this is already one of the greatest weeks in Purple Daily Write That Down history.
This is good.
I got screwed out of a 3-touchdown week. So let's start with, I said KJ Osborne will go over 80 yards receiving and a touchdown.
Dang.
And you basically got that on one play, right?
Most of it was like a 62-yard touchdown.
Yeah. So you got a huge chunk of it in one play.
I said the Vikings would strip sack Big Ben, which they did. And I said they would win It'd be their first blowout win of the season. They would win by 10 points or more. My radar was calibrated. They were up 29-0. I was up 19 points of cushion for this touchdown prediction, and they couldn't hang on
Hey, Macadac,
for the freaking
They don't
life
call
of
the
them.
game in during the course of the third quarter, Macadac. They
Thanks,
play
Sam.
the rest of the game. You
I get
play the game for a reason.
I mean, come on, though. Has anyone's radar been as calibrated and honed as old Macadac's was going into
why
that
don't you
Thursday
just
night
keep
game? I
patting
mean, come
yourself
on
the
now.
back?
Thank you.
Declan,
yes.
Declan and I are
Thank you.
fighting for a title here, and you're just throwing
Well, no.
bombs.
Well,
You're fighting for. I'll ask listeners, what's the more prestigious title?
Although
The
you're
dink dunk completion percentage
yeah,
title,
here we go. Here
or
we
the
go.
haymaker
Dink
home
dunk.
run title?
Why
What
you
wins
hating?
football games?
Why you gotta hate?
Does completion percentage win football games, or do touchdowns win football games? That's my question to you.
Why you
guys.
gotta hate?
So in real time here, these 2 touchdowns gave old Macadac a 1 touchdown lead over the listeners.
I got a feeling.
I love the storytelling.
And then
Oh,
the listeners
wow.
came back.
Oh no!
The
Listeners out of nowhere.
RKO out of nowhere.
Yay, listeners!
So we'll start with 2 incorrect predictions here. David said Cousins would finish the year with fewer than 5 interceptions and then a couple other things in a parlay. Well, he threw his 4th and 5th picks against the Steelers. Patrick said the Vikings will force at least 2 turnovers, which they didn't, and there would be no second-half lead changes, and they would beat the Steelers. They only forced 1 turnover in that game. However, Cole dropped back to pass, a little 7-step drop, shakes off the safety, and throws the ball down the field. With this parlay, he said, against the Steelers, Justin Jefferson will score a touchdown, the Vikings defense will have an interception or a fumble recovery, and a Vikings running back will have a touchdown. All 3 of those things together are a touchdown pass.
Nice, buddy.
Oh,
And then Samson comes in. So he said this. I think we missed this one last week. So Kene Nwangwu scores the 1 touchdown against the Ravens, I believe it was. And then he comes in and says, that's not the only kick return touchdown he's going to have. He's going to have at least 1 more. And then the next week he comes out against San Francisco and scores another touchdown via kick return. And so Samson is on the board with a touchdown. Amazing. We've never had this many touchdowns in one week. 4 touchdowns so
you are
far.
going back and forth right now. Heavyweight bout. Macadac v. listeners.
You guys are sitting there. I mean, you guys are. It's
no
like
reason to
it's like Christian Ponder against T-Jack. Like who can check down the furthest? Like, no,
There's
I can
no
throw a
rea-
pass 6 yards
I
behind
just
last
gave
scrimmage.
you credit. Haymakers, and you come back and rip us.
I'm staying quiet.
And then Declan comes in.
Yeah, I'm
so
staying quiet.
let's start with these first 2 here. So you said Big Ben will throw at least 2 picks against the Vikings. We'll get that one out the board. You said the Eagles would not receive a first-round pick for Carson Wentz, and we're just waiting on the 75% of games thing. So like we said on Mackey and Judd, he's like a handful of snaps on the season away from 75%. So unless he tears his ACL on practice, like Friday practice or something, it's going to be a first-round pick. However, this is a touchdown. You said Justin Jefferson will score the first touchdown for the Vikings against the Steelers. Look at that dude. Take a bow.
Thank you.
That's very
As
nice.
I do my Mario Gritty.
Yeah, that's
Thank
very
you.
good.
You said the Vikings will score at least 21 points against the Steelers, which is kind of a check down, but
It's a solid completion. I wouldn't call it a check down, but it's a nice first down on 2nd and 5, yeah.
and before the season, when the Madden roster ratings came out, they somehow had Justin Jefferson like in the 80s. And you said at some point the updated Madden roster ratings will bring Justin Jefferson up to a 90 rating or above. And justice has been served. I think Devontae Adams is like a 98, and Justin Jefferson is now 90 exactly on the Madden website.
Okay. I feel like it should be even higher. That's absurd.
I agree.
But I'll take the hit.
But you get the points there. So with that, here's where we stand. In the checkdown race, Judd Zulgad
I've had about enough of this, Macadac.
Is
I've
that
had about enough of this. Damn it.
Judd leads Declan in completion percentage, 38.7% to 37.6%. So 1 percentage point separating you guys. Judd has 5 touchdowns. Declan has 7. In the real race, which is for the touchdown title, the listeners are up to 11. Old Macadac is at 10 as we go back and forth. The listeners are at 32.9% completions, and I'm at 28.6%.
You keep up with your careless whisperer predictions, and Dex and I will continue to be the responsible drivers on this road, okay?
That's fine. That's it. You can finish
Don't loop
8
me
and
in.
9 and battle for the 7 seed, while I will sit with the Tom Brady's and the Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, you
I
think
will
Tom
sit-
Brady 28.6, huh? Do you think so?
Oh, man. Well, Tom Brady's definitely a little higher than that, but he's got the touchdown. So, all right, let's get him on here. Let's get our guy, guest listener predictor Rick is in the house. He's got his Brett Favre jersey on. What's going on, Trader Rick?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on.
All right, so you got the landscape here. I mean, are you going to try and bloat the touchdown lead? Are you gonna try and catch these guys in the completion percentage race? What's your strategy this week, Rick?
Well, I wore the Favre jersey for a reason.
Yeah.
I want to do some gunslinging today.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I had a
First time
feeling.
on the show, got to make it memorable, you know?
I had a feeling you were going to bring it.
All right, so we'll start with Rick. We'll go over to Judd, Declan, back to me. We'll make 3 trips around the room. We'll start with Rick here. Put those hands, those Brett Favre man hands under center, and you get the first snap.
Write this down.
All right, so my first prediction today, my best friend Abby is a diehard Rams fan. So I've been eagerly waiting this game after Christmas to watch with her. And so this prediction goes directly to her. Against the Rams, Justin Jefferson is going to go well over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns on at least 8 targets.
Okay.
Okay.
So at least 100 yards, at least 2 touchdowns, at least 8 targets.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I would hope so.
Write this down.
And that's against the Rams, right?
Yes.
Specifically. Okay. Just want to make sure. Jumping ahead. We take it one game at a time here, usually on Purple Daily.
He's Favre. He doesn't
it's
care.
Bears week, yeah.
He's throwing the ball middle of the field for Sidney Rice. Who cares about the double coverage?
That's
Just
right.
once, I would love to hear a head coach get up to a podium just once and be like, so, yeah, normally we take it one game at a time, but I see we have the Texans this week, and they're pretty crappy, and we're like 14-point favorites, so I'd love to look ahead one more week. We got the Patriots on the schedule
we are so
2 weeks
excited.
from now, and we are just really gearing up, 2 weeks of ramp up to face
That's right.
Bill Belichick.
The Bears, we should beat them twice. Let's talk
But
about
the
Packers
Rams,
game and the
that's- yeah.
Rams game, okay? Let's talk about those 2 games. Those are the ones we're excited for.
Yeah, be great.
Write it down. You like writing
Yeah,
things
have you
down.
guys seen Matt Nagy coach? I mean, that guy is a disaster. So we're solely focused on Sean McVay and Matt LaFleur at this point.
He truly is bad. That being said, the Bears should keep him.
I mean, from a Vikings fan perspective, yes, it'd be.
The Bears should definitely keep him.
Yes.
All right, Judd, what is your first prediction here?
The Vikings will beat the Bears on Monday night, and the spread I saw, 3.5 points. Is that the spread that you guys saw as well?
That's what I'm seeing too.
3.5 points. They will cover the spread, so they will beat the Bears and cover that spread.
Okay. 3.5 is interesting. I mean, it almost
It's a little
feels
tough.
like, but it's Bears Vikings games are weird. It
Write
just,
it down. You like
They are
writing
weird.
things down.
In this case, I feel like the Bears are officially checked out. I might be wrong, but I feel like they are. So I think the Vikings win, and they also cover that 3.5 point spread.
honestly, the biggest advantage for the Vikings is that the Bears inexplicably have not yet fired Matt Nagy. That
They don't fire coaches in season, man.
No, and it's great for the
The
Vikings.
Caskies don't do it.
I kind of thought,
I did too.
they would fire Nagy, and they're because a couple weeks ago they were still like 2 games out of the wild card race, and they're still not that far back from the wild. I mean, they don't have the tiebreakers to make it happen, but I kind of thought they'll fire Nagy, and they'll see a jolt,
too.
and maybe they'll win a couple games and sneak back in. But
They don't do it.
all right, Declan.
All right, similar to Judd, just a little bit more precise. I will say the Vikings beat the Bears by at least 7 points or more. So they'll cover the spread too, but they'll beat them by 7 or more.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's is that a touch? No, it's not really a touch. I think if it was 10 points or more, it'd be a
I
touch.
think if I got to 10, yeah, it's a touchdown.
Yeah,
It's a
10
good
for
chunk
sure.
play, but I don't think it's a
Yeah.
touchdown either.
Okay. All right, write this down. I'm swinging for
Write
the
this
fences
down.
here. I'm throwing the ball down the field. If any of these are not touchdowns in your minds, please let me know because I will amend them to make them touchdowns. But
Sure.
write this down. Dalvin Cook parlay here. He's going to go for at least 120 all-purpose yards, at least 2 touchdowns, and at least one of those touchdowns will extend the Vikings' lead in the second half to a 2-score lead.
Oh, God,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
that's a touchdown easy.
Okay. So 120-plus yards, at least 2 touchdowns, and one of those touchdowns will extend the Vikings' lead in the second half to a 2-score lead.
Okay.
Write it down.
Write this down.
Throwing the ball down the field. All right, Rick.
All right. So for my second prediction, write this down. Against the Bears this week, like you, I believe that the Bears are checked out. Even with all of the players that are probably going to get put on COVID between now and Monday, I still believe the Vikings defense is going to force 2 turnovers, and the Vikings will win by at least 2 scores.
Okay. All right. I think you guys are a little bit too aggressive on the Bears checked out thing here. I also don't think for this game, I don't think they're going to be checked out for a division game. I think there's enough pride, even if they don't love the coaching staff and even if Matt Nagy's garbage. And we've seen enough Bears teams with backup quarterbacks, let alone like future franchise quarterbacks, make life hell on the Vikings. So just you guys might be a little haughty here.
Too late now.
I think
The
they
predictions are out
used
there.
all their energy on the Packers game this past week.
There you go.
They couldn't win
I like
that one.
That could be.
I like that.
Yeah, like they came out hot in that game. Like I was
Yes.
like, wow, this game's actually really exciting. And then I was like, they're going to lose it, though. And it's exactly what happened.
I mean, the
Wow.
Vikings used a lot of energy protecting a 29-point lead in the second half,
true.
too.
A lot of flawed teams. A lot of flawed teams in this league.
All right, Judd.
All right, so the Vikings have 4 games left, 3 of which are susceptible to the following. Write that down. So write this down. The Vikings will have at least 1 game time shifted among their final 3. So like the Rams will either be shifted to potentially a late afternoon start. The Packers Vikings game right now is in prime time. There's a chance that could be still flexed, I believe. So not obviously this week's game coming up on Monday, but one of the last 3 will be shifted in game time.
Okay.
Okay.
It looks like your weight has been shifting downwards.
Yeah, well, it's been shifting away. And that of course, is thanks to my good friends at Livia Weight Control Centers. Down, gentlemen, from 240 to 210. That's right. And in a season to believe, we are giving you a reason to believe. Livia's best deal of the year. Join today. Save 50% off the program. Your first visit is free. Limited time offer. Save 50% off the program. 855-GO-LIVEA or Livia.com. Livia.com. LIVEA. And again, the offer ends before Christmas, but 50% off the program if you join now and start to shed those pounds. Feel great going into 2022. Livia.com, 855-GO-LIVEA.
And then instead of looking like Santa Claus in a pair of whitey tighties, you can look like Ryan Reynolds or Ryan Gosling or Judd Zulgad in a pair of Chill Boys. The most comfortable underwear and boxer briefs we have ever experienced in our lives here. Gentlemen, let's go around again here. What's one word to describe how Chill Boys are making you feel this holiday season?
Oh, fantastic. Just fantastic. There is no pair of Chill Boys that I have put on and not said, these are singly the best set of boxers or long johns, Declan, that I've ever worn.
Mm-hmm. Joyful. I'm always joyful when I have my Chill Boys on. It's a joyful holiday season, and I'm just naturally joyful in my performance brand, my bamboo brand, and yeah, even the long underwear. I'm a snowboarder. I like to get out and embrace the elements in the wintertime. Tell you right now, those long underwear Chill Boys, they go a long way.
I would say cheery. They just make me feel cheery.
Oh, cheery.
Chillboys.com. It's a Minnesota-based company. You can find them online. They're passionate about one thing, our comfort. Get yours at chillboys.com. All right, back to Declan here.
Write that down.
All right, I'll try this again, and I'll add a little bit more to it. I will say the Vikings won't allow any points in the final 2 minutes of the first half or the fourth quarter against the Bears. No points.
For the
I said
Hope that
2
comes.
weeks ago, I said just the first half against the Lions. The Lions scored a touchdown. I will say they will allow no points in either the final 2 minutes of the first half or the fourth quarter.
I don't know. Is that a home? Is that a touchdown?
No,
I think at this point in the season it should be.
do you? See, I
yeah.
think it, like Play
Because it's like a
defense.
guarantee. We know in the last 3 minutes of the first half they're going to let up points.
Yeah, they're historically bad. I almost feel like it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
it is, because I said I'm not even saying not touch. Like I'm saying points. So like they can kick Nagy kicked a meaningless field goal against the Packers.
And you're opening it up for both halves, which makes it even less likely that it happens.
Right. So I think it's a touchdown.
I mean,
Okay.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Doesn't sound fine with you.
Hey,
I am
like,
chasing the completion percentage. The touchdowns are gone. So
Hey,
you know
don't
what?
rule me out of the touchdown
No, I know.
percentage.
That's what
You're
I
in the
just said.
basement
Give him
there.
a-
I'm
give
still
him a
going for
touchdown.
tutties and completions.
Give him I mean, you're pretty much out of it on touchdowns. But anyway, I mean, that's fine.
All right, write this down. And again, you guys tell me if this is. I think this is a touchdown because Kirk Cousins is averaging 275 yards in the air per game. 275-yard passing yards per game.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins will finish with under 200 passing yards in this game.
Whoa.
Under 200 passing
And he's
yards.
at two. Did you say two what? 275?
He's averaging 275 on the season.
Oh, yeah.
The over-under, I believe, is like 265, somewhere in there.
And
this
you're
week.
saying under
Yeah.
what?
I'm
200.
saying under 200.
Oh, yeah.
He will
that's-
finish with under
yeah.
200 in this game.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's a touchdown. Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to lose. I'm just maybe
It's
maybe
'cause
they
you hate
maybe they,
Kirk.
maybe they pound the. That's
Like,
because I hate Kirk.
This is
That's why
typical
it is.
Macadac.
Yeah.
You hate Kirk. You're showing it again.
Classic Cousins
Write
negative.
this
Yep.
down.
Show me the proof. Show me the proof he won't have a good day, Phil.
All right, Rick, your third prediction.
All right. Third prediction here. I wanted to make it a real big one. I want my Favre to Lewis moment, my Keenum to Diggs moment on Write That Down.
I love what you're doing right now.
So, this season's lost. I figured let's have some fun with this. That being said, I looked at the schedules pretty hard yesterday, and I've kind of summed it down to a three-way race for that 7 seed between Washington, Philadelphia, and the Vikings. After looking at all three team schedules, I really do think the Washington football team are going to finish 7-10. I think the Eagles are going to finish 8-9. And I actually do think the Vikings are going to finish 9-8. So I think we will get the 7 seed. And with that being said, with how this team has played, if the Vikings will make the 7 seed and they will beat the 2 seed.
Wow.
Woo!
Oh, my God. I feel like
I
the
like it,
show
dude.
should end right
Dude,
there.
look at that, dude.
You like that?
Oh, my.
You like that?
I
Goodness.
love it. So right now,
You just aired that ball out.
the seeds are so up
60
for
yards.
grabs, even at the top here. So right
80
now, the 2 seed in the NFC. So you're the Vikings. If they sneak into the 7 and the seeds hold,
Tampa
they
right
would be
now, right?
going on the road to play Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks.
And you think they would be, oh, my goodness.
I do.
You know what? I want that matchup. Let's see. Mike Zimmer. Let's see what you got. Kirk Cousins. Let's see. Let's do it.
They played well in Tampa last year, except for Dan Bailey.
Yeah?
Yeah, maybe Greg Joseph was the difference between the Vikings making.
He was on the wrong bench
Making a
that
run
year.
So, well, Rick, great stuff, dude. You got the Brett Favre jersey. Since you've got this platform here on Purple Daily, this life-changing moment right now, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that brought you here?
Yeah, so as tradition, Purple Daily, got to thank my girlfriend, as everyone does. She puts up with it every Sunday. The funny thing is I grew up in Illinois, but I was born in California, and I've been a Vikings fan my whole life. And that's actually thanks to my dad. He was a huge Purple People Eaters fan back in the day. So they're the first team I was introduced to. So I got to say thanks to my dad for showing me this wretched team 20 years ago. And I also want to thank my two best friends, Neil and Abby, for watching football with me every Sunday. They make it enjoyable. And I want to say thank you to you guys, just like everyone does. For those of us who don't live in Minnesota, you guys are definitely the outlet. I watch you every single day between Mackie and Judd and Purple Daily. So, I want to say thank you to you guys for all your content. And it's awesome coming on the show. You guys really make us feel like we're a part of the family.
Dude, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the kind words, man. And for you being part of this community and taking your shots down the field, not being a coward, Rick.
That was a
Never.
deep shot, that last one. That was very Farvinian.
Mm-hmm. Told you I want my Favre to Lewis moment.
Yeah, you got it. But you potentially got it right there.
All right, Rick, we'll do it again sometime, man. See you
Thanks,
soon.
guys.
See ya.
All right, that's guest listener predictor Rick. Great stuff. All right, Judd.
All right, my last write that down comes off of a note that I actually sent you guys on Sunday from Charlie Walters' Pioneer Press column on page 2, which is just chock full of great notes. I love those notes.
So good.
Shooter.
And I am hearing rumblings now. Shooter definitely has Vikings sources, so like he's plugged in, and what makes him great is he is not afraid to run with stuff that I think a lot of people don't. So write this down. Pete Carroll's name will be mentioned in connection with the Vikings coaching job in a credible report and not just speculation. So that was speculation from Charlie. I am saying that at some point in time, I think Carroll and the Seahawks are going to part ways. I think the Vikings and Zim are going to part ways, and I think there will be a credible report like a Shefty or a Yahoo or somebody, a Glazer. Somebody is going to have Pete Carroll's name linked to the Vikings job, and it's not going to be speculation. I'm not saying I'm happy about this. I'm saying ear to the ground. I think this is going to happen.
Pete Carroll's he's a Hall of Famer. He's a legend in college and pro. He's 70.
I agree with you.
I don't need that.
He's a defensive guy who likes to run the football. Sound familiar?
But don't you think? I mean, I know that you're just throwing some stuff out here, but like, why would you hire a 70-year-old? You know, and I just
he is so. I think as far as his philosophy goes, because he is a defensive run first guy. That's a lot like Mike, but I think where he's different is, I think players gravitate more towards him. He's more fun. He's not uptight constantly. But I'm with you. I would not go out, fire Mike, and hire a guy who's 5 years older than Mike is. So I agree with your point. I'm just telling you, credible report will tie Pete Carroll.
It is interesting. He's not just floating that out there.
Write this down.
No, he's got it from somebody.
Yeah. All right, Declan, your final prediction this week.
All right, I'm actually going to make a prediction on the fly here after seeing this come in from Nick Wagner of ESPN. So Nick Wagner just said, I just caught up with former NFL wide receiver Percy Harvin for an upcoming story.
Wow.
Harvin tells me he's 1,000%, not 100, 1,000% ready if an opportunity presents itself to return to the NFL.
Terrell Owens said the same thing. I mean, Terrell Owens is
Harvin
is like 15 years older, but
is 33, was last in the NFL with Buffalo in 2016, currently living in Gainesville, Florida. I will say Percy Harvin will sign with an NFL team in the next 365 days. Okay. So between now and December 15th, 2022, 1 year from now, Percy Harvin will sign with an NFL team.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Would you take a flyer on Percy in training camp?
1,000%.
No.
I'm good on that.
He's done. He's done. And he is, when he was in his prime, just a magnificently talented player, but deep in Percy's soul, he is a pain in the ass, and he has to be great to take that chance.
And he never he never really lived up to his talent either, right? Like he showed flashes
of the migraines and then because he like would disappear. No. I am good. I can find guys like him now who are younger, more talented now, and probably not as big a pain in the posterior.
Yep. All right, write this down.
Write this down.
Somebody for the Vikings will score a touchdown offensively or defensively, so not counting special teams, offensively or defensively, that hasn't scored a touchdown yet this season on offense or defense.
When?
I'm trying to think if there's any other way to put this.
Against the Bears?
Monday night?
Yeah, sorry, against the Bears.
Yeah.
On Monday night against the Bears.
Okay.
They play the Bears twice. It's a short list. Like, they've had a lot of guys score touchdowns. So somebody will score a touchdown.
Like a Patrick Peterson will pick
or
up.
Like C.J. Ham hasn't scored a touchdown yet this season. I could see a C.J. Ham touchdown. I could see a Luke Stocker touchdown. Maybe Luke Stocker sneaks
Herndon has one, right, in Carolina?
Yeah, he got
Herndon does have one. Yep. Maybe Wongwu Maybe Wangwu scores a touchdown, or maybe there's a defensive touchdown of some kind. But
you said offense.
offensively
That's
or
right.
defensively,
That's right.
somebody will score a touchdown against the Bears that hasn't scored a touchdown yet this season. Write it down. So,
Yeah.
there it is, boys.
Okay.
Those are the predictions,
All right.
the accountability session
Write this down.
for this week.
Some good races going on, boys.
This is great, man. Yeah,
Real
we got
good
the
race.
Touchdown race, the completion percentage race. We got the batting title race on Mackie and Joe. We're gonna get to purple positivity here in a brief moment, but a shout out to our friends at Surly for helping power this show on a daily basis.
Yes, that's exactly right. And look, there are, when it comes to our friends, Surly Brewing has so many good beers. Dex saw them all last night.
Was in the brew hall last night.
To the brew hall, which is a great place. But my personal favorite, when you're sitting down to watch some football, Surly Furious IPA. I mean, what more perfect beer? First of all, it's a great beer. It's fantastic. Second of all, the name itself. I mean, it encapsulates a team that had a 29-rip lead against the Steelers and couldn't hold that lead and damn near blew the game. So pair a great beer with a name, Furious, that makes perfect sense. Pick yours up for Monday night's Vikings-Bears game. And as always, show us your cans at Jay Zolgad on Twitter. I want to see your Surly beer in hand with the game or your pet, perhaps, the little dog, cat. I don't discriminate. Tweet us your pictures.
Show us your cans.
I want to see those.
Hey, shout out to Federated too. Federated Insurance, big partner here at Score North and on Purple Daily, and a partner for business owners out there too, because they've been helping business owners with risk management for over 100 years. You know, protect yourself and your business from the elements too this winter. Just think about the different ways that weather can potentially have a negative impact on your business. Risk management, employee protection, bottom line protection. Federated has you covered at federatedinsurance.com. And remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours. All right. What is the nicest thing, the most positive thing you can say about the Vikings? Purple positivity. Judd.
So I'm going to make an unofficial prediction off of Phil's last write that down and say this, because this guy against the Steelers had a lights out game, a great game. Harrison Smith is going to, I think, be the guy who has not scored a touchdown yet in 2021, who's going to pick off a pass by the Bears and house it. Smith's year, I think, has been, and I'll qualify this by saying for him, it's not been great. Like, it's been good, but I mean, this is a guy who makes splash plays. And I feel like in the Steelers game especially, he was making splash plays. That last play that broke up, if Pittsburgh had got the 2-point conversion, what could have been a game-tying touchdown, essentially, go back and watch that play. Like, that is a big boy play. That is a tough play. That's a great play.
Yeah.
And so I think that Smith takes the momentum from the Thursday night game, carries it into the Bears game, actually gets a touchdown, and that's the positive, is that the hitman looked like the hitman on Thursday against Pittsburgh. I think he continues that.
Yeah, and then they have big decisions, as we talked about on last night's Purple After Dark. You know, he's merging into his mid-30s. You got Cam Bynum is just collecting dust after a couple big games. You know, is Harrison Smith a guy that you just keep around Viking forever? Is he? I mean, the way he's been playing lately makes me think he definitely still has gas on the tank for another year or two, and his leadership on defense.
I can see him bring that cap hit down again, but yes, he's been.
Yeah, I don't love that.
I don't
but
like cap hit.
There's flexibility there. But yeah, I mean, he's been. I think he's a Hall of Famer, like a Pro Football Hall of Famer. A
He's close.
championship would really help.
That's a really good. Yeah, you know what? That's a great question.
If he were to win a Super Bowl, because sometimes
Yeah.
that happens with defensive players,
Right.
like Palomalu finally, I think he won a Super Bowl, right? Palomalu won a Super Bowl and whatever. But and I don't think he's as much of a household name as like Ed Reed was with the Ravens and Troy Polamalu.
He's on that next tier, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's their tier, top of the pops, and then he's down a tier, I think.
That's probably
Because he's been, I mean, his career's been fantastic.
yeah.
I,
All right,
I would
Dex.
never debate.
It's the nicest thing you can say about the Vikings.
Yeah, a little purple positivity here on Dalvin Cook, and just to point out how special of a year, and obviously he's coming off a big game against the Steelers, but how special of a year he is having. Since 2015, Dalvin Cook is one of just 3 running backs to have at least 975 rushing yards on less than 200 attempts. So the other 2 running backs that have done that, Todd Gurley did it in 2015, who had a monster season with the Rams. LaShawn McCoy did it also in 2016. But Dalvin Cook is having a damn special year. I mean, Booney was talking about it yesterday of him just playing pissed off and with his head on fire. Dalvin Cook has been an absolute monster, dude. I know it's hard to overpay running backs, and I know he had that shoulder popped, and he's always battled injuries, but the dude is a monster when he's on the field. He's having a very, very special season, and he deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, that game against the Steelers, like I just think it set the tone for Boone kind of explained it too. When you have a guy that says, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to do it, I can tolerate the pain, and he plays like that, it shows you too that for all of Mike Zimmer's faults as a head coach and as a leader at times, this team is still fighting. They have not quit on Zimmer, and they have not quit as a team, and Dalvin Cook exemplified that on Thursday last week.
Yeah, the problem is that position right now, nobody stays healthy. McCaffrey, Henry, like you go through that list, everybody gets hurt, and it's just so tough to predict because Cook is so good when Cook can play well. But there's so many times where it's like, okay, he can't play or something. So yeah, that has to be one of the toughest financial decisions I think to make.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna go to the Justin Jefferson well here again because early in the season they weren't targeting him enough. You saw how talented he was. I still think there's even more opportunities for him in certain games, but lately they've finally righted the wrong. Right, they have focused in the passing game on him as the most powerful weapon. He is now up to 5th in targets, 2nd in yards among all pass catchers. Good. This dude already has 1,288 yards. The only difference between him and Cooper Kupp is opportunities. I mean, Cooper Kupp has been targeted in that Rams offense like an extra 2 times per game, and that's why his yards are up further. I mean, on a per-catch basis, Justin Jefferson is averaging more yards per reception than Cooper Kupp. The Rams, I think, have just done a better job throughout the whole season making sure that they get in the ball. So Justin Jefferson is truly emerging as one of the premier receivers in the NFL by almost any measurement and certainly by the eye test. And I love how he feels emboldened enough to go on Twitter the other night too and like defend his buddy OBJ. Like he's coming into his own. He's not high maintenance. He talks about wanting to win and wanting to play with joy. Just everything about this dude has been a joy to watch this season. And I don't know, there might be some changes to the Vikings this offseason, but at least that dude's going to be around for a long time. I'm guessing he's going to get the bag. He's going to get a contract extension at some point in like a couple years. Mm-hmm. So if nothing else, this is the Justin Jefferson Appreciation Podcast here, Purple Daily.
You guys love him, but you don't love Kirk. I don't understand where you're coming from, Phil. Come on.
Jefferson's one of the 5 best in the world at his craft, and Kirk's been a huge reason lately why he's been getting the ball. So credit to Kirk.
He might be top 3 now.
This
is a tough discussion.
I don't think Cooper Kupp is better than Justin Jefferson. I think Cooper Kupp's putting up better numbers.
Player, but he's a different player, right? Like if I'm talking about flat out go get the ball, Davante Adams is right there for sure. Justin Jefferson for sure.
Here's the other dudes.
Diggs is not. I do not think Diggs is as good as JJ. I just don't. I think he's really good. I think he's really talented. I think he's really special, but I don't think he's as good as Jefferson.
I mean, how many of these guys? Like, I'll just throw out names. So Davante Adams, he's.
I'd put him in the bin.
Yeah.
In that bin.
Cooper Kupp is having an amazing season. He's a wonderful receiver, and he's great in that system. I think if you were to go to the Rams and say, all right, JJ's going to need a few weeks to figure out your system, but would you rather have for the next 5 years Cooper Kupp or Justin Jefferson? I don't think they would hesitate. Justin Jefferson.
Agree completely.
I don't think any team would hesitate. Deebo Samuel is more of a trinket player. He's wildly effective and explosive.
Really well used.
Different kind of a player.
Different player, but he's really well used because the coaching staff's smart about offense. Imagine that.
Jamar Chase, Chris Godwin, Tyreek Hill. Some different type of players in there, but again,
I think Jamar Chase, Davante Adams, and Jefferson to me, same bin.
Chase is ridiculous.
Chase is really, awesome. Really special. Yeah. How about those two playing together?
Yeah, Super cool.
I appreciated it. I didn't appreciate it like I appreciate it now.
Here's another one. Stephon Diggs. Justin Jefferson has 300 more yards than Stephon Diggs does this season, and they've played the same amount of games.
Yeah. Diggs has not been.
He's better than Stephon Diggs
statistically. Yes, he's a better. Yes.
And
Stephon Diggs.
I put Diggs maybe near the top 5 in terms of just like talent and everything.
Well, and Stephon Diggs works hard. He's very smart, and he's really damn good. Jefferson, to me, has a level of God-given ability that exceeds Diggs, that Diggs has and won't have.
Yeah.
You like that? You like that?
I'm telling you, top 3 or top 4. This kid is
Ridiculous.
truly special.
Yep.
So I'm
absurd.
agree with you on the appreciation.
All right, that's a wrap for us here. If you missed Purple After Dark or Alex Boone yesterday, just some great stuff. Boone on offensive line, Boone on playing with injuries and playing in the cold, and
Just
everything about Boone.
Just all you got to say
Just a
is the
blast.
bleeping rhino.
And then we did a deep dive last night on Purple After Dark too with Realistic Randy into how the Vikings can clear cap space. What would you do with Kirk Cousins? Would you play him on the 1 year left and see what happens? Ridiculously huge cap hit. So check those out, and please click subscribe and the like button if you're watching us on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. We're almost to 30,000 combined subscribers between the Score North channel and the Purple Daily channel.
Thank you.
Thanks to all you guys. And we basically were at 0 like 2.5 years ago. So thank you guys
It's
for
Declan's good
helping
look.
us build this. That's
Damn
the
right.
birthday boy's glasses.
Thank
That's
you.
right.
Those are.
I don't think we've wished you a
sharp
happy birthday on this show today. So
Oh,
happy
thank
birthday.
you. Appreciate. I'm a millennial. I do need to get positive affirmation and people
29, you
knowing
said?
things. What's that?
29, you said?
29. Last trip
29
around the
years old.
20s.
Happy
Yep.
birthday. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great shirt. I like the shirt look.
We'll see if
Like, that's a
if
good
I
look.
tap out for possible tomorrow. We'll see how many drinks I have at fancy dinner tonight. But
Oh, we don't
No, I'll
tap
make it
out.
through.
We don't tap out.
I'll make
here.
it through. No.
PD don't tap out.
No, we don't tap out. We don't tap out.
Drag your ass in.
I
Drag
will.
your ass in this
Oh,
time.
I've,
All right, guys.
I've dragged my ass through worse. All right. Yep.
All right, see you guys. See you guys tomorrow.
We all have.